Good morning, Prime Outcast Collective. This is tabycatmeow. Today I want to share my journey from a seasoned Warframe player to starting a brand new game. A few months back, I found myself wondering why it's so tough for new players. With years of experience and a treasure trove of mods, I couldn't fully grasp their struggle. So I embarked on a challenge. Start a fresh Warframe account using only what I could scavenge, just like new players. Today, I'll highlight my journey from unranked to Steel Path at Master Rank 10 in just 22 days. When starting a new game, you are given an option of 3 frames, Mag, Vault, or Excalibur. Drawing upon my veteran knowledge, I chose Mag as my frame. While all 3 starter frames have their merits, my experience with Mag's ability made her the ideal choice for my low-level adventures. Facing the challenge of limited weapon slots, I invested some of my starter platinum to expand my arsenal. What's the best weapon to use starting out? The correct answer is weapons that can be used to make other weapons. There are too many to list here, so I might make a video just for this, and I'll link it here in this video. This will help conserving precious inventory space. My style for this playthrough is what I call muscling. It's like getting a shot from the doctor. And you ask him if he can just put it in your IV, and he says,
"No, it has to go into a muscle."
It's extremely painful, but necessary. Without the mods I'm used to, survival became the most important thing. The Carnis mod set played a huge role in my survival. This set's bonus stats provide evasion and immunity after performing a heavy melee attack. It won't be as important as it will be at Master Rank 5, but I'm in Deimos, and it has to be farmed from enemies that only spawn in bounties. I can't always get it to proc with swords, but the weapon I'm going to use to get to Steel Path is Xoris. That'll be given to me in the Deadlock Protocol by Teshin. Fun fact, almost all new players sell this weapon after they master it, myself included back in the day. As soon as I figured out what a huge life-changing mistake that was, I had to spend a ton of Samara standing just to get it back. Xoris is now in my everyday Steel Path loadout on my legendary 3 character. While I was on Deimos at Master Rank 3, I got the Feverspine K-Drive parts. Here's a link to that video. All 4 of the races the parts dropped from were on the map at the same time. That was a sign. I got all the parts in about an hour using only the unmodded K-Drive I got from the Wave Rider quest. If a MR3 using an unmodded board without a fancy ranked up modded to the Gale's frame, anybody can do it. I didn't even have an Archwing at the time. While I'm in Deimos, I'm also ranking up my Entrati. I do want to try to get to at least rank 3 with the Entrati so that I can get the Helminth segment once I hit Mastery Rank 8. Getting the Xoris at Mastery Rank 5, I knew the game was going to be so much easier now. By holding circle until the Xoris releases and pressing R3 to airburst enemies, I was bathed in a snotty green, slimy looking shield. This is my salvation. Having the mods rank gave me 6 seconds of immunity from status effects. It doesn't sound like a lot, but getting to Steel Path in 3 weeks cannot be done with just the flawed mods I've been getting. Why did I pick Mag for my frame? I picked for her abilities. Mag's 3rd ability, Polarize, strips armor. When using this ability, you will see enemies with armor have their armor melted away, leaving only shields and health. Enemies with shields are only left with health. And enemies only with health are left with, what's the opposite of health? Death. They leave tiny little shards that Mag can pick up and cut enemies, inflicting the bleed status. Her 2nd ability, Magnetize, that comes in real handy. If you've ever fought Malice in Steel Path, you've been exposed to the damage it does. You probably died unless you knew that he uses this ability and moved out of the cone of damage before you shot yourself in the face. All projectiles, including polarized shards, either coming from inside or outside of the magnetic field, is drawn back into the center. On particularly hard enemies immune to her polarized ability, this is great. Her 4th ability, Crush, is good for low-level unshielded crowd control. Best to use when you're being overwhelmed. The 1st ability, Pull, is the ability that you can ride over with a subsumed ability. Besides 1 mastery rank test that I needed to group enemies, I didn't find much use for it in-game. I know there are going to be comments that I should have used Vault or Excalibur because of a number of reasons. I invite you to leave comments. Then I challenge you to create a new account and do a video on how you got to Steel Path in 22 days using Vault or Excalibur, so all the frames are covered. I know people that have been playing for years and still haven't even reached Steel Path. This video is for them. Showing them it can be done and you don't have to wait for some imaginary thing to happen. like once I get this mod, frame, weapon, or when I get to this mastery rank. I primarily play solo due to my internet limitations, but playing with an open squad can significantly expedite your progress, and they can offer mastery, acquisition, and support throughout challenging missions. Do it with a friend. Finally, I'm at mastery rank 8. I've ranked my Andrade to 3, and I can buy the helmet segment so I can start mastering and subsuming all the frames that I've built. Also, I can put Aqua Blades on Mag because Ureli is the first frame that I subsume. This will get me to pretty 9 pretty quick while I'm finishing my star chart and quest. Once you've completed the Rising Tide quest, you'll have a Railjack, but you do not have to complete the Railjack star chart for Steel Path. You do have to complete the Kala Tempestari and the Angels of Zariman though. At Mastery Rank 9, I can now go to my dojo and buy the Ignis Wraith blueprint. Until this point, I haven't put any formas, catalysts, or reactors into any of my gear except for Mag and Xoris, the things that I know are worth it. I don't have a lot of mods, and I have 0 in-game mods because I've only been playing for about 3 weeks. I can go ahead and mod Ignis, and that'll help me get a little bit further until my next big hurdle. As I finish the last missions I need for Steel Path, I marveled over just how hard it was to do without all the things I was used to having on my legendary account. But I did it. I leveled my factions the best I could. Since I give out prizes, I would like to have access to all the Syndicate's wares, like mods and weapons for my giveaways. I didn't do everything in the game, like Exploder Orb, Profit Taker, and I only got to rank 5 in my Railjack and Transits on most parts of it. I did some Steel Path missions, but mostly just to get the Steel Essence, and it was always with the daily alerts on an open squad. It was extremely tough, but with the frame I picked, the weapons, and the mod set I used, starting Warframe over with what I know now is crossed off my bucket list. Hopefully this story helps you learn a different way to approach that Steel Path line you just haven't dared to cross yet. This is tabycatmeow. Good morning.